Shalom, everyone. My name is Shira. I'm an Israeli. That's who I am. That's what I do. Today, I'm a third-year Jewish Agency Israel Fellow at the University of Maryland Hillel, and I love my job. But I'm still trying to figure out what it means, Ari. I thought about what brought me here to stand on this stage today. And it was actually my sister, who many years ago had a bat mitzvah. Imagine my surprise as my parents offered her to have a bat mitzvah, because in Israel, most women, girls, don't get to do it, to read from the Torah. But my sister took it upon herself, and she learned, and the day of the event arrived. And I'm sitting at the synagogue, watching my sister, and I feel so proud. My dad is sitting next to me, and my mom, men and women in the same room. And as my sister, holding the Torah and walking with it around the room, and I was kissing it from her shoulder, I felt that moment of change. And I started this journey of asking myself questions about my identity. Who am I as a Jewish person? Who am I as an Israeli? I know I love my country. I know I'm patriotic, and I'm passionate about it. But what does it actually mean? What can I do about it? Since that night, I'm doing Israel in many different ways. But I'm still asking, what does it mean to do Israel? Think about it. It means many different things to many different people. There isn't one answer. Tali was a student of mine on Birthright. I didn't know her before. When I got to know her, I realized that she's an Israeli. She speaks Hebrew. But Birthright was the first time for her in Israel. And I was surprised because I would expect an Israeli to have been before the trip, but I asked her why that was the first time, and she said, I don't know, my parents just didn't take us there. On Birthright, we have 4 conversations that we need to have with the group to process the experience. The first one is asking, who is Israel for you? To try to humanize this experience, this far land, so it's not just far history, geography, but rather has a face. The first night I asked that, I felt like the conversation didn't go well. Tali didn't have an answer. The group was finding it challenging to find an answer. A few days into the trip, I decided to ask the question again. And that time, we were sitting in the circle. Tali and I were sitting across from each other. And once I asked the question, Tali and I locked eyes. We looked at each other, and from that moment on, I knew that if we were to ask the question again, we will have one another a part of the answer. We had a moment. Those moments is what we look for when we try to answer the question, what does it mean to do Israel? Another great example for that is Bethy. Bethy today is a junior, and I know her for a long time. This past summer, she did an internship in Israel for a few weeks. And I met her during the summer, asking how's the experience, if she found the best hummus in Tel Aviv yet, and how is the work environment different in Israel than in America. She said she was having a lot of fun. Good, success. It was only a few weeks ago that Bethy felt comfortable to come talk to me about the real experience she had. We were sitting in the office on Friday before Shabbat. We talked for half an hour, and then Israel came up. And she said, you know what, Shira, the summer was great, but not everything about it. She said, I was outside of the Gaza border, and I saw soldiers, and I didn't know if they are attacking someone or protecting someone. She was asking me all those questions about BDS and what does it actually mean. And there were some government decisions that she didn't agree with, and it was hard for her. She was asking me all those questions, and she didn't have all the questions, and I didn't have all the answers. But the fact that we were talking about it, and she felt comfortable to come talk to me about it, even if it was very challenging, is what we need to do. One thing I did tell her was something that Avram Infeld said before. Israel is like a family member. You know you love it with all your heart, but sometimes you don't like it. And Israel, it's like that. You have a fundamental love and connection that nothing is going to break, even if sometimes there's something you don't like about it, something you don't agree with. And you know what? I don't need to be a superhero. Let Gal Gadot be the Wonder Woman. I don't need to have all the answers. I don't need to change people's minds from hating Israel to love Israel, but I'm here to ask the questions. I'm a part of a delegation of over 70 Israel fellows that are here tonight and are ready to have those tough conversations with you, with students, whoever, and having those relationships, because once we have them, that's when we feel comfortable. That's when we have friendship. So in this journey of exploring what it means to do Israel, those are the three important things to remember. Don't look for the miracles. Look for those moments, those precious moments that you can't predict. Still asking questions, even if you don't have all the answers for yourself or in general. And have those relationships, and not just numbers or results. All of this will eventually lead to ownership, like Tali did, when she, a few weeks ago, reached out to me to say that she wants to go back to Israel. Her decision, not mine. And see my Israeli reaction, Tali, yes, let's grab a coffee, talk about it. She was choosing her relationship with Israel. That moment in Birthright paid off. In the journey of asking and learning from the students, from my work, you know when was the first time that I felt the moment, that I felt strong enough to put a talit on my shoulders like my sister did many years ago? This past summer in Birthright, when I led the bar and bat mitzvah ceremony, because I'm an Israeli, because this is who I am, and this is what I do.